All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Esports Podcast. I'm your host William, and with me today I have Brock
Hello.
and Brian,
Hello.
and we're all here today. So we're all not. You guys aren't super healthy yet, but you know
Yeah,
you're better than you were
yeah,
Monday.
you and
Exactly.
Brian are alive. We can say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brock, I just realized I forgot to update your power rankings. So while I do that, I'll also talk about how in week 8 we had another okay week. I went 7-3. Brock went 6-4, like always. Well, actually, no.
Uh-huh.
To be fair, you had gone 5-5 4 weeks in a row, and Brian, you went 5-5 again. So that means we are down to the last week. I am in the lead at 50-30. Brock, you're at 45-35, and Brian, you're at 47-33. So we're getting a little separation here coming into the final week. But we still will
Could be,
predict playoffs and stuff, but that won't be in the same category. But
could be a 10-0 week for me, though.
oh, 10-0.
Yeah, 10-0. Yeah.
All right. That in EU, that's pretty hard.
Yeah, there's no going to be no 10-0.
Yeah. So, actually, Brock, do you want to talk about the first game while I update these real quick?
Oh, yeah, the first game, Splice versus G2, and holy moly. That, that nobody could have predicted that. Nobody. And if you would have told me that Splice is going to beat G2 like that, I would have either called you a liar or we would have both went to the casino.
Dude, I'm pretty sure we both said,
We did bring up that there was a
We brought
possible
it up, but
upset.
let's be real here. We did not think that was going to be an upset.
I thought there was a possible chance for it. I didn't think it would be. I thought that what it was that Splice had a possibility to upset them because G2's weakness has been late game. They don't really play very well late game, in my opinion. They are so good at just smashing early that they just win off of that. And they never
What
have
I
to get to
don't,
late game. So 40. I said 45 minutes Splice buff though. I didn't think they would beat them as early as they
just
did.
Smurf on him.
and 42.
Yeah,
What I didn't understand though is
early for Splice.
yeah, early, quote unquote. What I don't understand is you're going against Splice, so you're like, even though you're G2, you're that good. Somehow Splice is gonna take you into deep water. Why do you pick Karthus and Kaisa? Like Kaisa scales well, but why aren't you putting perks on a crit champion, like a legit crit champion? Like,
Well,
yeah, Kaisa, he built crit, but there's better things you could have picked than Kaisa.
that is true, but I've actually have a little point here in my notes that I've lost. Okay, there they are. Like, where are they? But I've noticed that Perks has not looked very strong since the ADC patch came in.
Mhm.
He's definitely, this is
Yeah.
something that we brought up at the beginning of the year, that at the beginning of the year there were champions that, like Lucian, that you can play mid and stuff. Lucian's still strong, but in all, you could play whatever you want in bot lane with the Vlad, Zoe, all Yasuo. Like, that isn't as, it's still prevalent, but it's not as much as it used to be. And not only that, we've also learned that Mickey has also had some wrist injuries, and they haven't been able to practice as much as a team. So I wonder if that's actually causing them these lackluster, this kind of slow moving limp to the finish almost by G2. It's not like a super big
Yeah.
limp by any means, but it's it's a noticeable one though. It's definitely, they don't look as untouchable as they did before at the beginning, the first part of the round robin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if someone doesn't pick G2 this week, it's not crazy.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
before it would have been trolling.
Yeah. For me, I still think the issue with G2, which is not like quote unquote issue because it's not really an issue because it's still G2, is the fact that in my eyes for Caps, his comfort picks are still mid laners. Like, I think it needs to get to the point where his comfort picks are ADC.
You mean
Like,
Perks?
Caps
he's
or
yeah, I'm
yeah.
sorry, yeah, Perks. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me, Perks' comfort picks are still mid laners. So I think obviously this is his first season as in the 80 carry position, so it'll get better, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think when it comes to stuff like this, where you're in a position where ADCs are getting buffed, so you're not going to be going through your comfort picks and whatever it is you want to play, Yasuo, or you could do like Piglet's doing and go with the Aurelia pick bot lane. I believe that's Piglet. Too
Mm.
many league games
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
Piglet is an Aurelia only player now.
Yeah,
3-0 or something.
Yep, 3-0
but
in the Aurelia.
yeah, I would like to see them put him on some stuff like in this game. I think it would have been okay with the Jinx pick or something that scales with crit later than Kaisa.
Yeah, the Kaisa pick is okay right now. It's not nearly as strong as it was before because you can't. The Stormrazor nerf to it really, or the Stormrazor being nerfed actually really hurt Kaisa a lot more than other
Yeah,
champions. So she's not as she struggles a lot early. She needs her items to even be like relevant now. Where before you could get a Stormrazor and you could still be behind, but you still had a lot of pop with the Stormrazor. Now the Infinity Edge doesn't do a whole lot for Kaisa, to be honest, at the beginning until she gets like Ginsu's as well.
yeah. And one more point before we get off of this game. We've said it many times. That's why we're not going to linger on it. Don't like the Karthus jungle pick anymore. It didn't do anything this game.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nuisance because they had a team to legit lock down Karthus if they wanted to.
Yeah,
And then
really.
you have a spell shield. So it's like, you're not doing much.
Yeah, was Karthus picked before Sivir? I don't remember.
I see why they picked it, because they wanted to go late game, and his late game is disgusting.
It's super disgusting. Half
Oh,
of
yeah.
the ult.
But yeah, their lockdown was too much.
Yeah. And Vizicache too had an amazing game on ranked there. We can't leave that out.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No.
and obviously Kobe on Kabe on Sivir. I was
Sivir.
gonna say on Splice, but technically correct.
Yeah.
But-
That was gross. That Sivir was gross.
Yeah, that was 6-item Sivir right there. No boots, 6 items. That's the Sivir I love to see. Just absolutely destroying people. And the Maw to make sure Caps doesn't one hit him. Yeah, that was that game. Next game we had SO4 versus Excel. This game was so frustrating because I thought SO4 they started out a little ugly, but then they get a pentakill at the 14-minute mark with upset, and I'm like, oh, you just gave Kaisa a pentakill. This game should be over. But then after that, they did. You could look on this like map right here, or the gold advantage graph. They did almost nothing with that pentakill. They take an immediate Ocean Drake and a tower, or not tower. That was on the other side. But they take an immediate Ocean Drake after it. But then they lose a tower. Then they trade towers. Then they lose Baron, more towers. Like they lost everything after that.
Yeah. This game is where it makes it so difficult to like do podcast about league games, like going from game to game, because we literally just said how good, like how in a decent position the 80 carries are with the crit changes and all that.
Yeah.
And then there's a Cassiopeia bot lane that goes 9 and 10.
It went against the Kaisa. It didn't really crush her as she went 7-1 and 5.
Yeah. But it's like,
That's with that pentakill too, though.
Yeah,
so.
that is true.
but for me, it kind of seems like it's hard to say that the Cassiopeia is a counterpick to Kaisa because really, it's not doing much because Kaisa can ult you from a much longer range than Cassiopeia's miasma is.
Yeah, you have to
like,
time that miasma really well. It's a counter if you, in the sense that you can time it very well. So like you stop her from ulting and like you can just pop her instantly on that. It's very tough to do though. I'd say it's not
I don't know exactly the position that the Cassio was picked either, but that is a very good team to pick Cassiopeia into.
Yeah, it's lots of CC, or pick them into. Yeah, because it's really good on Zoe. It's really good on against Kaisa.
And Jarvan, you literally stop Jarvan's engage.
Yep.
And I could be wrong, but I don't know if Vladimir can even pull through the miasma.
I think he can because it's not a dash or anything like that. But I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either.
And
but,
Ignar had a very terrible game on the Alistar, though. That 0-8, that's an ugly, ugly game by him. And Ignar has been struggling lately. Honestly, the whole of SO4 has been struggling. Memento had a bad game. Memento did steal the Elder Drake right here, though, but it didn't really result. It was the little too late kind of thing because they immediately got wiped after that.
Well, I wonder if was the Alistar picked before or after the Thresh? Because
it's good into Thresh.
Is it good in Thresh? I would figure Thresh is a counter pick to that.
No.
Because all you have to do is flay his engage.
It's harder to flay Alistar engage than, say, like something like Leona. Leona's pretty. Once you get the timing down, you have it down forever. Very frustrating.
Well, I wonder if it's a counter in pro play, though.
No, I think it's because like Alistair can body block, and then once
Yeah,
Thresh gets the hooks on Alistair, he's just dragging him closer to engage range for Alistair.
yeah. I would say Alistair definitely has a lot better CC and tank stats for sure than
Yeah,
Thresh.
yeah. But Thresh does have more playmaking ability though.
Yeah.
The next game we had was a little bit of a boring one till the end. I thought it was Origin versus SK, and Origin kind of just had, as you can tell, had pretty much full control. The only time they were giving up towers is when they were trading objectives, like this one when they traded a tower for a tower and Infernal and stuff like that. And they had a huge team fight here where they just actually dominated pretty much the whole game. The one part that I actually did want to talk about in this game is that
Werlib.
Werlib,
Portland.
Werlib. I knew I had the wrong name. I didn't know what the real name was, so I was waiting for your guys' correction. Werlib made a very crucial error at the end of this matchup, but everyone was flaming him, and it turns out it was actually a team call. So it was a team shot call. I don't know who called it on the team, but basically at the end of this game, I believe it's either Nukeduck and Patrick, or no, Alfari and Nukeduck, or Alfari and Patrick. I don't remember exactly who was with Patrick. All I remember is the Yorick, and that's really all you needed. Yorick's sitting down here taking the inhib, the bot side inhib, and Werlib is in the base, like, to defend it, like, clear the minions, make sure they don't get the towers. Teleports into the Baron pit around here, and then they just kind of like, oh, no one's gonna defend the base against a Yorick and someone else. Okay. Yorick is like one of the best tower clears in the game. And then they just immediately ended the game off of that, and everyone was just flaming Warlib for that teleport because it was very, very poor. But what SK was trying to do is, I guess they were trying to clean up the fight at Baron. I believe, yeah, Baron wasn't even taken. They were just trying to stop them at Baron and get some picks. But, well, by doing that, they end up losing the game entirely. Not,
Imagine if the teleport change never happened and
yeah.
they could have canceled it.
Yeah, that's a very tough change. Even in pro play, there you see sometimes mistakes with that teleport. Even still,
The first week.
the
Where,
first week
who
was a lot.
it? I think it was like Misfits where they just like teleported in, died.
Yep.
Started the teleport, can't cancel it,
Yep.
died.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get used to, and it definitely makes, at least me personally, it makes me hesitate to, especially in solo queue, to actually like make some teleport plays because I don't have communication with my team as well. So I'm like, if I'm going in, I'm pinging to go in. Like, please stay, do not retreat.
Hey, I think with the teleport change, the best thing you can do nowadays, people, is play Gangplank. You don't need a teleport to be effective in the team fight. Just ult down there.
Yep. I'm jealous. I wish I had a global ult. Next game we have Vitality versus Rogue. I didn't think this one too much special to talk about in this game. It was kind of just a huge blowout the whole way through. Prophet didn't look good. Prophet and Wadid returned this week. They didn't look very good. Wadid had a lot of kills, which is not really good as the support, but he had half the team skills actually. But yeah, Prophet looked really bad on the ranked 10. Going against the Olaf top, which is what I want to talk about. Olaf top making a comeback into the league. I hate that champ. That champ, that is one of the biggest counters to Cho'Gath in the game. You don't ever really see it, but oh my god, early game, that is a nightmare.
I'm surprised it wasn't tried sooner. Because, like, Olaf is actually a really good pick. Like, I don't know about it being a good pick into Scion.
I think it would,
Like
because he has
early game.
he
Yeah,
has the
early
max
game I can
health.
see it being a good pick.
He has the
I
max
mean,
health
he's got
damage
true
on the-
damage as well.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I
maybe-
like it in the tanks more so because tanks usually provide the CC, so you just can use it to like in Cho'Gath's instance. Olaf at level 6 disables pretty much everything you're gonna do. You're gonna knock him up with your Q? No, you're not. You're gonna silence him? Nope. So he just runs you down, and you're gonna slow him with your E. That doesn't work either. So everything Cho'Gath does is like soft CC, well, hard CC with the knockup, yeah, and he just runs you right through with the true damage on his W, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So I think it's good in the tanks. That's why I don't see it too often because there isn't many tanks. Even in the Riven jungle also didn't work out too well in this game. Rek'Sai is a much better
Yeah.
jungler in my opinion.
That's also another thing to talk about. Rek'Sai is actually making a comeback too.
Oh yeah, Ruxai got the buff that her ult is it point and click now again, or is it
Well, it
like
was point and click before, but you
no
just had to hit him first.
yeah, it was like a skill yeah, you're right, where you don't have to
Yeah,
hit him
you had
now.
to hit him first.
So now
Yeah,
it's reliable damage. It's like 5 point something. It's insane.
It
yeah.
was also really easy to dodge.
Oh yeah, you just sidestep as soon as you walked out.
Yep. So yeah, that game was kind of a blowout. No need talking about that. Speaking about
Mhm.
another blowout was Fnatic versus Misfits. Not much to talk about in this one either. Fnatic is back. They absolutely dominated this game in every lane, and especially in top lane. Bwipo got his revenge on Soaz. Soaz was destroying Bwipo to start, or in the first time these two teams faced this year, but not this time. Soaz went 0-9 on the Renekton, and you want to throw all the flame at him for that, you know? But honestly, he was at least trying to make plays. I think the rest of the team really wasn't doing anything. They were just kind of like losing, you know, like that slow lose, do nothing and lose type style.
Yeah,
I hate that
that's
style.
what I take from every game where your top laners in this game 0-8 and the rest of your team only has like 2 deaths.
Hmm.
That means as soon as you tell your top laner to initiate, everyone just leave.
Yeah, that's kind of what was happening. To be honest, there was like at least well, he did have a bad laning phase. He did start like 0-4, 0-5, so he did get stomped there. But like after that 0-5 section, like his last 4 deaths was like okay, so as engages, the rest of the team backed out. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, all right, rip.
Next game was SO4 versus Misfits again. Misfits got crushed in this game as well. Actually, Brock, can you cover this for a second? I actually had to be right back. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
Sandy's
yeah.
mess.
Oh, that's fine.
This is
Yeah,
a rough week to pick Misfits back to back.
tough week for Misfits fans. I think the craziest thing here was Oduame. The cannon went 12-0 against the Vladimir. Like, I'm not surprised by his laning phase at all because obviously range champion, and it's very difficult for Vladimir to heal when you're constantly being poked. But 12-0 is that's kind of crazy. And then you've got the Yasuo pick into Zoe. Uh, I don't know how I feel about that pick. I don't think win wall is enough to say that that's a counter pick for me. I mean, I don't know what you think, but for me, I don't necessarily think just having a win wall is good enough to say that this is a counter into Zoe.
No, definitely not. Because you can only win wall so often, and I feel like she can queue all the time.
Yeah, and not only that, like even if you like, let's say she sleeps you, and then you win wall after that, so she don't have damage. You still have damage because you put where you want the ball to go, so you can still put it behind his win wall. So, I mean, it didn't look good, and it's forbidden. And I've been saying not a fan of forbidden.
Hey, he's been doing really well.
He has been doing well, but this is another thing I brought up in a lot of games where Yasuo was picked. Is Yasuo is good. Yasuo gets to a point where he's broken. Like, please nerf this champion. But in order to do that, you need Infinity Edge and a crit item. And it's being made to where you have to go like Sterix Gauge or Hex Drinker and stuff like that, and you're just delaying that. And he only had one piece of the Infinity Edge, which was the pickaxe. So you have Static Shield and Sterix Gauge. You don't have damage. And
I
that's
agree.
30 minutes into a game. So I don't know. I didn't like the pick, but this was for me. This game was essentially Odawane like running through Misfits.
Oh yeah. It's good to see because I know he's a good player, but I've kind of been down on him this year just because he hasn't looked as great. But good to see him carry a game super hard.
Especially on Kennen too, because Kennen was a pick that me and you both liked. Like you were the one that actually showed me the Kennen pick.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of Kennen.
Yeah, and then you told me about it, and then I played some Kennen, not nearly as much as you did, but it's good to see different champions as well. Like Kennen's picked in a few games, but it's nice to see it picked where it just runs wild.
Yeah, it was really fun to see.
Yeah, I don't see anything else worthy of talking about in this game. Just based off what I'm seeing, it was kind of a stomp. Misfits only took one tower, and that was kind of it.
Uh huh.
So yeah, that was kind of much the end of that one. The
I'm
next
back.
game was. Were we just going to the next game?
Oh, look at that. Perfect timing. Sorry about that. We're having
Perfect timing.
huge storms right now. So Sandy's like super freaking
Yep.
out.
I've got dogs. I know that feeling too. But yeah, the next game was SK and Splice.
Yes. And in this game, Splice actually looked amazing for the second time. Like they took control. Actually, this is not the
This is Vayne.
yeah, this is not the control of this is not the whole graph, by the way. The game did end in 8 minutes.
No, it did not.
I don't know why the
There's
graph
no
was like-
Splice game ending in 8 minutes.
when I say Splice took control, I didn't mean that much. But yeah, this was all
weird.
Vayne on Kame. He was disgusting.
And then the Aatrox jungle was pretty good too. 4-0 and 12. That's
Yeah.
not.
I hate the Aatrox jungle, but
Yeah, it's an interesting jungle pick.
I'm not a fan, especially with the only one dash now instead of two. Like I feel like it's not a great pick, but it worked out this time.
Yeah, and then you have
there are
Vizichachi
others
on.
who need to stop picking Aatrox in
Yeah.
maybe other regions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think. Well, it's like an okay pick. I wouldn't say it's out of the meta pertent. Yeah, oh yeah. That one I agree with. That one definitely. I think I saw that he's 0-10 in his last 10 games on it, but you know,
Holy moly.
yeah, it's not
Yeah,
good.
and then you got Vizichachi, who was trying to take a page out of Otawame with the Kennen pick. It didn't work as well as Otawame's did, but it still shut down the York.
Yeah,
So that was.
that's all you need.
I'm
right?
I'm liking seeing the Kennen pick. I think it's a good pick.
I'm liking
I like
seeing
it.
AP Kennen. I hate AD Kennen with
Oh,
passion.
please, God.
We talked
no.
about it
I
last
agree.
split. Like I think it's one of the most worthless picks you can pick. If you're gonna
I
pick a
can't
split
watch-
pusher, pick anything else. Anything else is better than AD Kennen, in my opinion.
Yeah, not only that, it was AD Kennen bot lane too. Like, do you know how many times Sneaky played that? Like, I was kind of tired of seeing
That
it.
was a reckless pick.
No, Kennen, Sneaky was doing it too.
Oh,
I even
was
seen
he?
a couple
Played it.
games where Sneaky
He
was
played
doing
it.
it.
But that is the reckless pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I guess maybe it's because I'm more of a team fight type guy. So like I love seeing Kennen's. I hate seeing that like Kennen's beautiful team fight possibility just like do nothing.
Auto attacking.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Next game we had Fnatic versus XL. There's a lot of blowout games this week, by the way.
Yeah.
This is another Vayne popping off. Vayne is coming in the meta. For as much as I despise Vayne in my solo queue games, love Vayne in pro play. It's awesome this year, piloted by like some really good players.
Our boy Reckless this game.
Yeah, he popped off. Not only that though, we got a Nico in this game as well, and Nico did pretty good as only
AD
one kill, but yeah,
Nico.
AD Nico in the mid lane. Just what you like to see, right? That got hotfixed though recently, or at least some of the damage came off of that, so it's not as broken as it was. It was tearing up solo queue, like in every position it was over 55% win rate. But yeah, this was in general just a busted, just a great game by Fnatic. I was gonna say like Excel, but no, not true.
And by the way, this is what I was talking about last weekend when I was telling you that you need to watch the game so I can talk to you about something.
Mhm.
It was the AD Nico.
Yeah, disgusting.
Also, not if I would. I'm so upset that Brock's won 8-0 and 5 on Karthus.
Proved you wrong right there.
It's
Like-
a great late game pick.
It is a great one.
Yeah, but they're 25 minutes.
Late into that game.
Late game.
Late into that one game.
Oh man.
The next game we had Origin versus Rogue. Not much to talk about in this game. Just kind of a blowout again. Like I feel like I've said that like 4 times now. There's a lot of blowouts this
I
week.
think we've said it more than that.
There were not many close games this week in Europe, which is always okay for when I'm like watching a bunch of games. I'm like, okay, at least they're 30 minutes, like the quick games. But like at the same time, like it's not very interesting when you know who's winning right away. In this game, don't like the Ivern pick. Never have. Never will until it gets buffed. It's like, it's so, in my opinion, like cheesy almost. Like not in like a negative sense. I hate when people say cheesy is like a negative thing, but I feel like it's so, you have to have like such a certain type of team comp for Ivern to work, and you have to be going against a certain type of team comp as well. This was not one of those scenarios, and because of that, Rogue kind of got smashed. Cold destroyed him on the Rek'Sai.
Oh yeah.
And the Rek'Sai pick is just that's the pick you want to see.
What's crazier to see? Someone actually locking in Ivern or Mithy not?
Hey, Mithy has definitely been the weak of Origin, but he's improved with his getting not caught out situations. Like not in the early season, but he's definitely improved. I would say he looks much
You know how
better than he
to
did in NA. That's for sure.
Yeah,
you know how
Cold
to
Cold has stepped up big
Oh,
time,
that too. Yeah,
especially with
Oh
this
yeah.
Rek'Sai pick.
yeah.
Yeah, for
Rek'Sai,
sure.
Both
like
games.
that is his champ apparently. I would
Yep.
definitely be banning Rek'Sai against Cold because he's had a lot of weaknesses this as well on Origin. Think that with Mithy and Cole are definitely the two weak links of Origin. Where Nuke Duck has been awesome this year, Patrick's been awesome. Or Patrick's been okay, but I think that's also been attributed to Mithy's issues. But yeah, and Alfari's he started out really bad at the beginning of the year, but he's actually stepped up quite well over the last few weeks.
hmm
Finally, let's talk about game of the week here. At least it was an interesting one, and it was definitely not a blowout. G2 versus Vitality.
I'm so glad that this game happened the way it did because with all the blowouts, we actually got a good game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
It didn't go that way. You're right. But
It
like
didn't.
it was a back and forth. Like I won't say fiesta because it was like good gameplay, more so than bad gameplay. It wasn't. It wasn't two teams throwing to the other. I thought it was just two teams playing really well, going back and forth. There's definitely a big difference. And yeah, just the whole thing, as you could tell from the gold graph, Vitality started up in the lead, then G2 had the lead, then Vitality had the lead, and then they lost the game. They still had the gold lead, but they lost the game on that team fight at the end there. Lots of Barons, 3 Barons in the game, just tons of towers. It was all around just a great game. I mean, didn't Vitality bring it like up to the Nexus towers of G2, if I remember correctly?
They took the inhib.
They took the inhib
tower,
and they were like
mid.
near the Nexus towers and they backed off. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Like it was looking like they could possibly end the game, but then they backed off to be a little safer.
Yeah. This game, I wish I could. I wish I could see champ select because. Yeah, actually, yeah, it was shown here. Whenever they G2 picked Lee Sin, they should have went into that pick knowing that that's not a good pick because they picked Lee Sin in the second rotation when there was already a Lissandra, Jarvan, Lucian, and a Rek'Sai
Yeah,
pick.
Rek'Sai counter is
That
hit
alone-
bad because doesn't if she goes under and she can just knock up like as he comes in with the Q.
Well, not only that, a Lee Sin, a Jarvan, and a Lissandra both counter Lee Sin too.
Yeah, so
Because you just completely stop his engage. And it showed too, because Yankos did not do much at all with the Lee Sin pick.
I I just wanted to bring up a point that I want to defend the analysts that I saw this on this and that, and I remember this from the game when they were questioning why Jack Troll bought the Ardent sensor. Because, you know, what does Trundle bring to the Ardent sensor game? The font of life from his pillar, that's what was procking it. That's very, very niche. Like that's like I saw people play with the analysts and stuff like that's a hard one to tell. Trundle has no hard CC that you think of usually. But he had and then not only that, he has nothing to heal or shield, which is so then you have to go back to the font of life part. Like yeah. It was,
not Rally, sorry, that's why I bought Redemption.
yeah. It was a weird build. I thought that was my only question mark about that because like G2 really didn't have any tanks. Like I feel like Trundle's a great pick into like Sejuani and stuff like that because you can make her almost have, if you do it right, you can make her have negative resistances and stuff like that. But I said stuff like that a million times. Ugh. But yeah, you can have her have negative resistances. If you go against a Scion, you can steal a lot of his tankiness and all that. Like their only tank is Galio, and if you look at his items, he has Redemption, the support item, Merc Treads, and an Aegis. So no tank there.
Yeah.
No tank at all.
Nope.
I don't like the pick. I guess the pillar's not bad into Galio Justice Punch.
I mean, the pillar is also another counter to Lee Sin.
That's true. So it can work. I guess I guess it was more of an anti-engage type thing with Camille, Galio, Lee Sin there, and Callista ult just to pop the pillar
Mhm.
and stop it. But I don't know, I feel like you could have had Braum or something more anti-engage. Like, oh no, Braum was banned. You can't have Braum. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just completely wrong here.
What do we know?
All my stuff is falling apart. I'm like, yeah, you take Braum instead. Nope, banned. I feel like there's other supports though.
Oh, there's definitely other sports. I mean,
Thresh.
you can go down a list.
Yeah, Thresh would be a good one. Especially Thresh Lucian's a really good combo. Anyway, yeah,
Especially if I'm playing Thrash.
yeah.
Exactly.
Popping
Best
off
thresh in
later.
A here.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's look at our players of the week. First off, we had top laner of the week is SO4 Oruame. Oruame. Wow. KDA of 4.5, average kills of 7, damage percentage of 35%, and a DPM of 684. Jungle of the week was Origins Cold, KDA of 19, damage percentage of 19.1, DPM of 298. Mid lane of the week was SO4 Abadange, KDA of 19, CSM of 9.4, damage percentage of 30.3, and a DPM of 602. ADC of the week was Splice's Kabe. It's KDA of 13.3, average kills of 10, CSM of 10.2, damage percentage of 33.7, and a DPM of 816. Support of the week was Fnatic's Hylissang, KDA of 30, average assist of 14.5, and a vision score per minute of 220, or two, not 200, 2.28.
That's a vision score right there.
Yeah, that would be insane. All right, now let's go to play of the week here, which is SO4 versus Misfits.
Pulling off. All right, Abadaka goes in. Look at the damage on the hard sum. He's backing away. There's a million red stacks on the Baron, but the red can't be popped. Memento and Odo, the combo for a triple kill. Baron is still available to be secured. Here comes Upset for one. Misfits, they're done. They're dead in the
There's a
water.
delay, so I'm watching it on the delay.
Yeah, but
Oh,
basically Odoame just the perfect what you want as a Kennen right there for everyone to group up on one side of the Baron pit that you are on. You just flash over, ult in, and just get that's the AP Kennen I like right there.
Yeah. That's why you don't go AD Kennen.
Yeah, in my opinion, I hate AD Kennen. I love this type of style that Kennen can pull off. And this was a bad Baron take in the first place by Misfits, to be honest. Like,
Did you hear the mic check of this?
no, I didn't.
Apparently they were like, yeah, they're far away, they're far away, they're far away. They had no vision, and they're like, they're far away, so they just stayed on it.
Wow, that's bad. That's a really bad call.
Yeah, it
They're
was
all
super bad.
right there. Like, it made no sense in the moment. I forgot. I missed mic check this week. I've been decently busy at work, especially today. Today was crazy. But yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
I've been sick, so
You get all
what
the
do you
time.
all my YouTube sub box, it's completely watched.
That's the worst. That is the worst when you're like, I have nothing else to do.
It really is.
All right. So with that, let's go back. Actually, let me check Bowling Green real quick. Okay, looking good. Sorry, March Madness. All right. Yeah. So let's go over power rankings for this week. We all have G2 first still. We have a lot of differences at number 2. We're all different. I have Origin at number 2. Brock has Splice at number 2, and Brian, you have Fnatic at number 2.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I just think Origin they've looked really solid in the second half of the year. They have taken down G2 once. They're tied for second place right now, and they look clean in all their wins that they've been starting to get. They had a little hiccup. I believe that was week 7 when they had the hiccup with 2 losses. No, week 6 they had 2 losses. But besides for that week, they've looked really, really good. And I think that they are currently, in my opinion, the second best team just because of how clean their team fights look. It kind of looks like SO4 at the beginning of the year. Brock,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
You go ahead, Brian.
I have Fnatic, and that's just because their form in the second half. I think they're currently, if the power ranking, I think they're the second best team in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got number
I
3.
mean, they're definitely showing lots of power. That's for sure.
yeah,
For me, I have Splice because Splice beat G2, but I still can't put anyone above G2. And Splice is coming into this with a 2-0 week, same as Origin. But for me, beating G2 for me is what puts Splice ahead of Origin in my power rankings. But I also have Origin number 3. So you could put Origin and Splice vice versa. But for me personally, I think as much as we hate Splice because none of us are really a fan of Splice, it's hard. They're a very bored team, but it's hard to deny what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
because they're doing what they want to do, and it's not so much that they're playing bad league, they're playing terribly. They're actually doing what they want to do, and they did that against the best team.
Yeah. Until about week 7, I just considered Splice just the gatekeeper team where they weren't as good as the top teams. But they've definitely proved me wrong in the last 2 weeks now. It's showing that they very well could be the top team in the league.
Yeah.
It's crazy how well they're team fighting right now. And they look clean. They're not making the early game mistakes like they were. They're still taking the game very slowly, but they're doing it in a cleaner way. Where it's not like we make a bunch of mistakes, we just turtle, and then maybe we can win. They're actually just playing slow, taking objectives, like taking good fights, all of this stuff that's actually working out really well, and that's why they're tied for second going into the last week of the year. Right, the split. Yeah, I have Fnatic third. I'm kind of with you, Brian, with the sense that I think Fnatic is one of really good teams right now. Like, almost, if I can say if they beat G2 this week, I might even put them up to number 1 on the.
Yeah, exactly. I think you have to.
That's insane to me for how bad they looked for the whole first round robin. They finished at 2-7, I believe, or something like that, or like 3-6 or something. It was bad. It was real bad. And now the ADC patch came in, and they're like, oh, everything's fixed. They've cleaned up their team fighting. They've cleaned up their laning phases. Whippos look good again. Like Reckless looked amazing, and just all around Fnatic looks phenomenal. Shocking, considering how they started this year.
Really is.
I mean, Fnatic's definitely looking good, like both of y'all said. For me, I still have Origin number 2 because it's hard to. For me, it's sorry. It's hard for me to put a team who's coming into winning ahead of teams who have already been winning.
Yeah.
And Fnatic going 2-0 is good because I'm a big Fnatic fan. If I'm not mistaken, I have Fnatic number 1.
Yep.
But it's hard to deny the other teams like Origin who have been winning and also had a 2-0 week last week. But yeah, so that's kind of why I'm putting them where they're at, which me putting Fnatic 5 looks worse than it is because that's not like you deserve 5th place because you're playing this much worse than the other team. That's look, I'm 5th place, but I see that number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Like, it's there, and I can take it.
Yeah, you're on the rise.
Yeah.
I actually have Splice ahead of Vitality as well, though. I have Splice as my number 4 team. And you guys both have Vitality. I just think that Splice, their win against G2, they're on the up, and Vitality's looked pretty shaky the last few weeks, actually. Like, they don't look as clean.
They almost beat G2.
They almost beat G2. That is true. But they didn't look good in their first game either. And Splice did beat G2, is the sense. They almost beat G2. Splice did beat G2.
But Vitality beat Splice. That's where it gets weird.
Again, power rankings get very tough towards the end of the year.
Yeah, it really does.
Especially in regions where like they beat this team, which beat that team, which beat this team. But
I know.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Mm-hmm. But I think... I, at the moment, think Splice is better than Vitality as of this very week, and I'll be interested to see. It's going to come down to, obviously, between Origin, Splice, and Vitality for second place, and even Fnatic, possibly. But,
yeah.
Like, it's going to be a crazy week, actually. Like, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If the Vitality G2 game didn't go like it did, and if it wasn't as close as it was, and for me, I have Vitality 5th place if that game goes differently, and I have Fnatic above them. But because they were actually managed to hold like they did, is why I'm still putting them there. Because, I mean, I don't remember what we had last week where Vitality, it was like 2 or 3, something like that. I think it was 2.
I think you had them too. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2. So like, yeah, for me holding G2 like you did, it's hard for me to go from 2 to 5 like that.
Yeah.
Whenever you played well.
I had them at 4 last week, so I only dropped them down one spot.
Yeah.
You're a hater though, so
I like Vitality.
I'm joking.
Yeah, the next I have SK game. We have so many differences. It's really weird. We usually are pretty much on the same page. I have SK Gaming at number 6 still. I know that's kind of bad, but like I just think they're better than SO4. I don't SO4 beat Misfits, which is why I put Misfits at number 8, but I don't believe in SO4 anymore. Even after that win against Misfits, I still don't believe in them.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, you have SO4 number 8. You have them even worse than I do. You have Misfits up to 6.
I just think it's hard for me to put Misfits down. I don't like the team. They're such good players.
Yeah, they have a 100 Thieves type issue. A little bit better, but a 100 Thieves type issue where they have all the talent on the roster, but they're not putting it together properly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically, saying these are our Week 9 power rankings, you have Misfits making the playoffs then. Maybe.
Who do they play?
I
think
don't
I
remember
looked
off the
at
top of my
that.
head.
They play Splice and G2, so never mind. I don't have them making the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that might be a little tough. They definitely have the worst road to the playoffs. And then we both have, all three of us have Excel and Rogue. I don't know why I put your Excel different. I'll change that now. But yeah, we all have Excel and Rogue on the bottom. They've definitely the 2 bottom teams.
Excel's looked great, but it's a little too late.
Yeah, a little too late. Let's go to our predictions then. So first off, the first game, we have Splice versus Misfits. And I think we've all hyped up Splice a lot lately. We're feeling good about them. I think this, even without their winning against G2, I'd say they'd win this game because I would say they're still the gatekeepers, but now I don't even believe the gatekeepers. I think they're contenders now. So I think Splice is going to win this game and sink Misfits' ship for the playoffs, which sucks because I had them winning the whole thing.
Yep, I've also got Splice winning this one as well.
Yeah, I have Splice. I have to, if I'm gonna catch up, I have to make some bold predictions.
This isn't one that
So-
why can I not spell Splice?
I'm not going this one though. This is too close.
Okay.
Which I guess are the ones I should probably take the 50-50s.
I am like having like an aneurysm right now. Is that even it? I don't even know.
SPLYC.
SPLY. Okay, yes, it was. For some reason, it's like one of those things where it just looks wrong in your head, like or when you're looking at it, and it's just freaking me out right now. Next, we have SK Gaming versus Rogue. I think Rogue is done. I don't like what did in Profit coming back on the team. I think Vander and stuff were much better. They at least looked semi-competitive. They didn't look competitive at all this week. SK Gaming's fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to be trying their hardest. I say SK wins this.
You gotta think SK is gonna win. If they lose, they're completely out, aren't they?
I'll pull up the standings. I only see standings because that's important. Yes, they would be completely out because, well, no, not technically, but most likely. I don't know the exact math on it, but most likely.
Yeah,
So you have SK as well,
I do.
Brock?
Yeah, I also have SK. It's kind of sad because, man, I really wanted to see Rogue do something.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed with them. Next, we have G2 versus Fnatic. I'm thinking that with the issues that G2's been having lately with the wrist injuries to Mickey and the fact that they're not training as well and how up and up Fnatic is right now, I think Fnatic takes this game. I got Fnatic beating G2, actually. I think that they have just looked amazing so far, and I think G2, I know they've been playing up. They always play up against Fnatic and stuff like that, but I don't think with the injury and the lack of practice, Fnatic's also going to play up against G2, and Fnatic's fighting for a lot more than G2. G2 is already sealed into first place. They don't have anything to lose by losing, and I think Fnatic really needs this win.
So you're going Fnatic?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going G2. This is one of my games I have to get back. I was really hoping you would go Fnatic and ride the hype train. I think this is going to be G2 trying to beat their rivals, so I think they'll take it a little bit more seriously. They better.
So, this it's already locked in that G2 is first place.
Yes, they're 3 games
No.
ahead.
Are
Yes.
they?
Yeah, they're 3 games
Oh,
ahead.
okay.
They're 13 and 3.
Just kidding.
Oh,
Okay,
well, I'll say I have Fnatic winning this game, but for my power rankings after this week, for me this week would have locked in G2 in third place. And not power rankings,
In
not
your
like
power
rankings, power rankings.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because-
They're struggling a lot.
Yeah,
That's
because
exactly
I think
what I said to you, William.
That is true.
Yep. Because I think this week is going to set up Splice and Fnatic.
Ooh. Still, I guess you're right. You're on the Splice train. Can't
Yep.
wait. Can't wait. Don't you love when you get on hype trains and they crash and burn?
Hey, I'm not on the hype train. We're not calling it a hype train. We're calling it
we need to call it something else. Whenever we
we're
call
calling
hype
it-
train, they lose.
We're going to say respecting what they've done so far.
Okay.
That's what we're going to call it.
Professional.
Next, we have Vitality versus Excel. Excel's looked really good lately, but I think Vitality, I don't. Spoilers are so hard to pick. Like teams that are like pump up for spoil teams, but I don't. I always believe that a team, when the going gets tough, like they're gonna step up when they need to. I always believe in teams that really need to more so than they're playing this to be spoilers. I feel like that has less. If you start falling behind in a game, like say Excel drops this game by 5K, like at 15, 20 minutes, I don't feel like you just want to get off the stage by that point. You're already done for the year. Where if you're Vitality and you're down by 5K, you really want to win this game. You're really focused on trying to get back. So I have Vitality winning this one. But I think that's just my philosophy in general about people playing the spoiler and people trying to seal second place like Vitality. 'Cause second place is very important in EU.
Yeah, well, I think it's also a good team that your mentality plays into. Because whenever Vitality needs a win, Jizuke always manages to find it for him.
Usually on Echo.
Yeah, usually on Echo. Like Jizuke he's not a sleeper mid laner because people know how good he is, but I think people don't care how good he is because of stuff like big people like Caps and stuff like that. Jizuke kind of gets overlooked, and he's not a mid laner you should overlook. Like Jizuke is good.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you have Vitality as well,
Mm-hmm.
Brian?
This is against Excel,
Yep.
not SK. Okay, good. I was looking at the wrong week. Yeah, Vitality for sure.
Alrighty, let's go to game number 5. Game number 5 is Origin versus SO4. This game, I've said that I believe in Origin. I respect. What'd you say, Brock? Respect their progress or whatever.
Yeah, respect what they've done so far.
Yeah, I respect what they've done so far. I am not on a certain type of motor vehicle. That might be exciting. But I think Origin is a threat for the championship, let alone just this game. I actually can see Origin winning LEC this year, which I would have never said 2 weeks ago. I would have said G2 for sure. But with the way they're struggling, I think Origin is definitely a really big threat. And I don't believe in SO4. I think that outside of their one win against Misfits, I think that game against Vitality crushed their mental completely. I still stick to that.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually kind of a tough one. But I think, well, it's not a tough pick because I do think Origin's going to win, but I think it could potentially be a tough game.
You think so?
Because SO4 is kind of like this team who doesn't really show up until they decide to show up. And that's usually when we say they're not a good team. And they're like, well, I've got to prove these 3 people wrong.
We're super important that they definitely need to prove us wrong.
Yeah.
They definitely do. I think that's why they've just been sandbagging us.
Has to be. It has to be. There's no other explanation.
There's really not.
So you guys both have Origin? Is that it?
Okay, so we have one difference so far, right? I'm trying to
Yes.
plan out my comeback, how it happens. I picked G2 over Fnatic. Wow, thank you for that one. Okay.
Bold prediction.
OG Schalke. See, beginning of the split, I'd go SO4 no problem. I just don't see Abadage and Nuke Duck. I don't see Nuke Duck losing
Yeah, that's
because
exactly.
he bullied him last time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go Origin.
You had Origin as well, Brock.
Yeah.
OG. Next we have G2 versus Misfits. I wanna seems like a. I'm smelling a trap here.
Yeah.
I'm smelling a trap. I think G2 might lose this game. I'm gonna pick G2. I'll just say that right off the bat. But I'm gonna pick G2. But I have a feeling G2 is not gonna care at all about this game. They're gonna be pumped up for Fnatic. That's gonna be a tough game for them. And then this game doesn't mean a thing. So I could definitely see G2 laying off the brakes here and Misfits being able to take a game, but I'm still going to bet on G2 just because I think their season's over.
Yeah, the fact that this game means nothing is kind of what worries me about picking G2.
Mm-hmm.
It has literally nothing to do with Misfits being better than G2.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that this game means nothing.
Yep.
But even saying that, it's still kind of hard to think that G2 playing literally anything loses to Misfits. So I
don't
think
Misfits. That's crazy. Player for player.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I don't know. I like
On
G2.
Misfits, you have Gorilla
That's good.
versus Mickey. Yeah,
that's
okay.
a good one. Huh?
Febivin in his prime versus no one's better than Caps. Okay, that's
not fair. That's not fair.
Okay,
In EU,
Who is-
no one in EU is better than Caps.
I can never Soaz and what's his face. I mean, Wonder. That's
Wonder.
two good top laners.
Yeah, I'd say Wonder has a slight edge though at the moment. This season at least. In Jankos, it's definitely better in Maxor by a lot this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Misfits.
All right.
Yikes.
This is one of my three that I have to hit. It doesn't matter anyway, so I've got to try and at least
get
tie.
him. You gotta get him. Or you can go 4 and you can go for the win.
No,
No, you don't want to do that.
no, that's too bold.
Next game we have is SO4 versus Rogue. I think that SO4. Even though I've been hating on them I just think they can win this game. I don't think Rogue is a very tough opponent. I think they're a complete pushover at the moment with what did in Profit. You want to
I'm
go
going
on
rogue this game.
You're going Rogue?
Yeah, baby.
See, this is the one where I was gonna make it my pick, but then I'm like, I could just pick opposite and splice Fnatic, but I'm also gonna go Rogue
Ooh, making
because
it
I
bold.
want to stick to my pick on that. I think SO4 will be down and out. Rogue is still just trying to improve it as an organization. This is going to be an SO4 stomp now that we're talking about it.
I feel like anytime we bring up watch out for this upset, it never works. It's always the unexpected ones.
It's always the ones we say, watch out for that upset, and
Yeah,
don't pick
and we don't have the balls to pick it. Yeah. Speaking of wins, though,
Yep.
Bowling Green just won. Woo. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Next
Let's hurry up. 'cause I
next
got
pick we
somewhere
have
to
Vitality. It's like 10 p.m. Vitality versus SK. Vitality, I think at this point will still be fighting for second place with Fnatic, as I have Fnatic upsetting G2. So Fnatic will still be one away from Vitality, I believe. And I also have Origin and Splice winning. So this is coming down to the final day. So they have to win this game. And I think SK is going to win the first game. But with Fnatic winning and Splice... Actually, will they be... I haven't done the math on this. Either way, this is going to be a very close game because both these teams are going to be fighting for a lot. With Vitality fighting for that second place and SK fighting for the playoffs. I have Vitality winning, but this is going to be a very close game.
I also have Vitality.
Same.
SK's on a slide. I like them, but they're sliding.
I don't know. Last game of the season, when your season's on the line, who will be more clutch? I believe in Vitality and being more clutch.
Shizuka.
Yep. Brock
Suzuki
Lesnar.
as a whole.
Origin versus Excel. I think Excel season is over. Obviously it is over. I don't think that it is. And it's the same exact thing with Vitality. Origin will be still fighting for second place on the final day. They're also going to win this game, and it's going to come down to tiebreakers.
Origin, for sure.
100% Origin.
All right, final game: Fnatic versus Splice. I have Fnatic winning this game and knocking Splice out of the second place race. I have them. I think Fnatic, like I said, by the end of this week, if my predictions are correct, I will have Fnatic as the number 1 team coming in the playoffs, which sounds so freaking weird to say. I don't even like Fnatic.
It doesn't sound weird. It sounds weird because of how bad they did.
It sounds weird if you watched up to week 5, the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, but I also have Fnatic, and I have to go. So
All right.
this
Bye.
is going to be my final pick, Fnatic. All right, and thank you. Goodbye.
Hi, buddy.
Brock, what's your final pick?
I mean, I said it during the first day. For me, this week sets up in my power rank. Like I said, not actual ranking.
Mm-hmm.
This sets up for me G2 being in third place because after this, I have Fnatic 1, Splice 2, and G2,
All right.
and then Vitality 4. So I have Fnatic winning this.
Oh, I forgot. In my head, I thought you were talking about Splice winning. But yeah, so exactly. So we have Brock. We have one different pick. So you cannot get first place. But you and Brian have 1, 2, 3, 2 different picks. So you could still get second place here. You could still tie Brian. If Fnatic beats G2 and G2 beats Misfits, that's not the worst scenario, you know. You will actually beat Brian, or you'll tie Brian in the standings after your rough start. Or you didn't really have that big of a rough start. That was NA that you had the rough start.
Yeah, that's it.
But with that is our podcast. Well, thank you guys for coming out to watch tonight. We are not going to stream until Sunday now, but we stream every Sunday through Thursday. Sundays LPL, Mondays NA or just LCS. Tuesday's LCK. Speaking of LCK, Jesus Christ, Griffin lost today. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Also, 2-0, spoiler alert.
Yeah, 2-0 by 9th place Genji, who I've been touting as the team that's going to get relegated. I guess not.
Yep. Big yikes.
Guess I'm completely wrong there, guys. Okay, I get it.
Sorry.
I get it. You're still good, apparently. Where was that for the last 7 weeks?
Makes no sense.
LMS Wednesday and LEC on Thursday. Follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/KingLinkFan or subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/KingLinkFan. I upload the videos right away after the podcast, and they come out right before the games of the previous week. Or before the week starts, except for NA, which gets a head start. But that's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you Sunday for LPL. Also, RNG lost to Rogue Warriors. What the hell there? We'll be talking about that on LPL podcast. Bye.
Bye.